The fourth benefit of owning real estate is what's called principal reduction. You see, every month when you make your mortgage payment, some of that goes to interest and some of that goes to the principal, meaning that over time, the bank's gonna earn a lot of money in interest. In fact, on a 30-year mortgage, the house is actually gonna get paid for almost 3 times. But along the way, the house also gets paid off. Do you know who's gonna pay it off? Your renters. You're literally saying, I want you to live in this place and I want you to pay off my house over time. And the fifth major benefit is what's called depreciation, not appreciation. Depreciation is where the government allows you to take the entire value of your house and write it off over 27 and a half years. So for example, on a $300,000 house, that's a little over $10,000 you get to write off every year. If you rent it out and you're making $5,000 a year positive cash flow, you actually don't have to pay taxes on any of that. Why? Because there's $10,000 of depreciation against the $5,000 of positive income, which means you don't only pay taxes on that, but you have an additional $5,000 of that depreciation carrying over into your other income sources, which basically means the more real estate you buy, the less taxes you pay. Moving on, there are 4 different types of real estate: residential real estate, commercial real estate, industrial real estate, and raw land. Now, technically, you can make money with all of these, but because I'm your mentor today, I'm gonna share with you that there's one that I'm the most interested in, and that's residential real estate. Yay. Residential real estate is exactly what you're thinking. This is a home for a family, and that's it. But if you move up to commercial real estate, you then get into multifamily real estate and also business real estate. You've got industrial real estate where you've got warehouses and steel manufacturing plants, and then you have raw land. I bought a tract of land, I waited 20 years, and then guess what? It went up in value and I sold it and I made millions of dollars. But of all 4 of these, residential real estate makes me more money than any of the other categories. Now, there are 30 major different ways to invest in real estate, but today I'm going to share with you the top 3, the 3 that I have found to be the most profitable. So take notes. The first one is called a rental, the second one is called a lease option, and the third one is called wholesaling. Now, a rental is what you would imagine. I bought a house, I rent it out, and the people that live there, they pay me rent. Now, is that a smart thing to do all the time? Well, it depends if it's the right house in the right market and you bought it at the right price. If you did 1, 2, or 3 of those wrong, you'd then be stuck with a house and a negative cash flow because the rent that they pay is not enough to cover all of the expenses. Rentals done correctly are good. I own thousands of them and I absolutely recommend it. The second strategy is called a lease option, or sometimes called rent to own. This is where an investor has bought a home, but instead of just renting it out, they want to rent it to a family that has an intention of buying the home. Now, lease options are awesome because the family moving into the house wants to make it their own. They'll pay a premium on rent. They'll usually give you a non-refundable down payment of $3,000 to $10,000. And the bottom line is, you make a lot of money and they do all of the management. So that's also a very smart strategy. In fact, the first 25 homes that I bought were all lease options. The third strategy is called wholesaling. And this is where you're going to identify a house at a really deep discount. And then instead of buying it, you're going to just flip the contract, the deal, to an investor and say, I want you to cough up $20,000 or $50,000 for basically taking on this really good deal that I found for you. Wholesaling is really smart because it doesn't require any money, it doesn't require any credit, and if you have the right system, you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions of dollars doing this. Now, as your mentor, I do need to give you a huge warning that when you wholesale or flip properties, you can make a ton of cash, but 10 years can go by, you've made a ton of money, and you don't own any real estate. So when we talk about rentals or lease options, that's a buy and hold strategy.